Carlos, what did you learn about Jonah today, the way that he bounced back from his last outing?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to like after that last outing. And even today, the first couple of innings, they put together some really good at-bats. He was kind of like scatter there. Obviously, we made a huge play on that first inning. But the way he, we're talking about bouncing back from the last outing, but bouncing back from the first couple of innings, and then settling in nicely. That's kind of like the guy we saw at the minor league level pretty much the whole year, getting swing and misses with the fastball at the top, the changeup, the curveball, attacking. It was pretty impressive.
When you say, he really settled in, obviously you just talked about a few of the things that he did, but how is that different than what you were seeing in those first couple of innings?
Yeah, I think he got him in a rhythm, but then he got ahead, and then he kept attacking, as opposed to just letting hitters get back in counts where he really have to execute pitches, like he wasn't messing around. And, he's stuck to his strength, which is especially when he's ahead. We saw how he got Manny for strike three, swing and missing there, Laureano for strike three. The pitch selection, execution, I think the total package there.
Tony.
Just how much curiosity did you have about how he would respond after not just a bad one, but one that was clearly pretty emotional for him?
Yeah, he got emotional, obviously, right after that game, but I saw a lot of good signs from him, the days after, in preparation from this outing. Like the very next day, he was going through videos and things like that, and the mindset was already on this game. And then you watch him, throwing his side, and then the way he's interacting and carrying himself, same guy. So those are some really positive signs from a kid that, is going through what we're going through here with the schedule and the meaning of every game, and for him to not have an outing that he's capable of, you saw a lot of things that for a kid his age are pretty impressive.
Jerry?
Talk about that first inning, second inning, getting a little bit of help. How much is that Nimmo assist on Machado? You talked about last week, one pitch is out of that first inning. How big of a difference how much of an impact does that out today make for him in the whole overall outcome?
Yeah, huge impact. We're talking about not only a game changer. It's a completely different inning there. You're looking at second and third, one out with the middle of the lineup coming up. And we saw last outing where he was only a pitch away from getting out of that first inning, and then kind of unfold there. But it was huge that we were able to execute some fundamentals there, Nim hitting the cutoff man, and then Jeff being on the right position there, and for us to be able to play catch and get that out there. I think it's, like I said, a completely different outing, and I'm glad that we were able to help him there.
Dave?
Carlos, as much as you guys had said all along that you believed in him and that he would bounce back from that, how much does it mean to have it confirmed as you guys are trying to make decisions going forward and deciding who's going to pitch and that sort of thing, just to see him have that kind of game he had today?
Yeah, it's always, like I said, there's everything's on the table right now, and the meaning of every game and the way we're kind of like moving around guys and kind of putting together the whole puzzle here, right? Obviously today was, we were watching, right? And I'm glad that he stepped up and gave us a chance to win a baseball game.
Jorge?
You mentioned pitch selection. 7 of his 8 strikeouts were on fastball. Seemed like he was relying on that a lot more. How much was the fastball sort of an emphasis, trusting his stuff?
Yeah, I think you got to give credit to him, to Louis, obviously, and Hef, when they're going in between innings and having those conversations, what they're seeing from the hitters and what they're seeing from Jonah's fastball, when he's executing that pitch right there at the top and getting swing and misses or getting pop-ups, those are some good signs. So, and the way some of the righties were taking some swings of the changeup, I thought they made a good adjustment of, going to the curveball and then obviously the fastball at the top.
Peter?
Juan Soto had his 100th RBI today. Obviously, has reached a lot of statistical milestones. Just what would you make of his first season with the Mets at this point?
It's special, a special player, special person. He's really unbelievable when you look up in the scoreboard and you look at the numbers. And he only is going to get better. But again, you ask him, and he's not satisfied, and he's all about winning games. He's great that he's putting all the numbers, but he's not here for that. He's here to win. So I'm glad that he's on our side. But man, he's pretty special when I always said that people stop doing what they're doing to watch him hit. And then today, not trying to do too much, second and third, nobody out, just a team at bat there. Let me get the guy in, the guy over. That's baseball. Like he could be easily just be swinging for the fences there, but that's what the game was dictating there, and he took it.
Was today a good example of just what this offense can be when the top four are all contributing the way they did?
I thought the whole series, against a pretty good pitching staff. You look at the first game when we put together some really good at-bats of Michael King. Yesterday, I thought of Pivetta. Obviously, we clipped him with a few solo homers, but then we were facing some of the high-leverage relievers, some of the best, and I like the at-bats. And then today, same way. Name with a 3-run homer against Wandy, a tough left on left. It was just good to see. But we got good hitters. We just got to continue to go out there and do it.
Will?
Hey, Carlos, just curious, if you guys were to have added to your lead in the 5th inning, would Tong have gone out for the 6th?
That was in the mix.
How important or how much part of the calculus was it for him to just leave feeling good about his start?
Yes, 100%. There was a combination of making sure he finished on a positive note, but with the top hitters coming up, and when you look at the last at bat from Tatis, it was like 117. Then Machado, that first at bat, I didn't want him with not much of a wiggle room there. I didn't want to take any chances, but it was more towards like make sure he finishes on a positive note there.
Laura?
We saw some aggressive base running from Francisco Lindor and a lot of excitement from him. Just in terms of his intensity and his focus, how much does that lend to what your guys have been able to do?
Yeah, I mean, he sets the tone, he sets the table for us. I thought overall Mullins had a good read too, and we're talking about one of the best right fielder arms on Tatis. Like it's not easy to run on that guy, but we challenged him when we needed to, especially with him going away from third base, moving towards the line. And I thought, Francisco being able to read that throw to third and taking second, but then after that, challenge him going first to third. Obviously you got to give the players credit, but the coaches preparing these guys.
Joe?
Home runs in 4 straight games for Pete Alonso. Just what can you say about him at this point?
He's locked in, and when he's doing things like that, he can carry a team. We know he's kind of streaky hitter. We've seen it when he gets cold, and then when he gets hot, man. Like he gets on one of those streaks that he's pretty dangerous. And right now, where we at, if we get that type of Pete Alonso, our offense obviously will benefit from, of course.
Mark?
Carlos, just big picture, taking 2 out of 3 from a good team over there, especially after the kind of struggles you guys have had. Just what kind of exhale is this right now?
Yeah, I mean, you always want to win series, and especially against a team that is in a playoff spot. We don't have too many left, and every game matters, right? So it was good to see the boys bounce back after losing that first one. And what we've gone through, the past couple of months here. The past is in the past now. For us to, like I said, win this series against a really good team. Now we got to get that momentum against the Nationals.
Andrew?
Just what did you make of what the bullpen did today? And is that kind of like the trickle-down effect from, the piggyback 2 days ago, just having a rested bullpen there today? Yeah,
it always helped, and obviously when I'm trying to be aggressive, taking the ball from the starters, and when you're set up like that with the guys, you're gonna try and piece it together. But it was good to see those guys coming in and get the job done. Rogers against the top of the lineup in the 6th, Rayleigh, Soto, and then Sugar finishing there. It was just good to see. We're gonna continue to rely on those guys, but yes, having the piggyback situation on Tuesday, not having to use any of those guys, put you in situations like this where you're able to win a series.